Hi, so for today I created 2 active sound designs with our desktop simulator, and you can listen to them right here, but it's actually more fun to listen to them in the car. Okay, so then you can start. So I have prepared 2 sound designs actually for the e-Golf here. So the first sound design is more like the typical classic sound design for an electric car. So it's a bit more futuristic. It is divided into like 3 layers. So like it is in when you think about music production, so we have more like a low layer, so with low frequency parts. We have a mid layer and we have a high frequency part layer, and we also have some some additional effects in there. Mm-hmm. And so during your drive, I will just switch on and off some parts. I will also adjust the tuning, maybe increase the loudness so that you can familiarize yourself with the sound. And then at one point I will also change to the other sound design, which is a more like combustion engine sound, where we used some additive synthesis to really create this modulation and this roughness of a combustion engine. And so have fun.
Exciting. Especially the last one. Oh yeah, no, I can hear it.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You can hear it, but it's not it's not like a punch in your face. It's it's a good background noise, and gives you the background of what you actually drive.
Mm. So
okay, but when we put the throttle a bit more, then it comes a bit more bass in, and I got it.
When you try a sound design for the first time, you always have the feeling like, okay, there's way too little sound. I can barely hear it, but once your ear gets used to it, then it's very obvious. It's like when you have some noise in the car, when something is broken or something, then once you heard it, then you will always hear it. Okay, so I will turn it down to the...
Okay, it's still loud. Okay, now it's gone.
Yeah, so now I turn it down again. If you go a bit slower now, and then you can just fully accelerate.
Okay, and 3, 2, 1, and full throttle. Some Piper sound.
Yeah, exactly. So
the first one was a tire. It's raining right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I also realized that it's not the best situation for that. No, but the idea was that so we have a special sound that gets triggered when you give basically full throttle to also emphasize the feeling of strong acceleration, and it's like, so it also emphasizes this more like spaceship sound. So there's
it was a bit future side, huh?
Exactly, right. Exactly. So, and this is also another way how you can emphasize certain driving conditions, or also give more feeling or like emotion to the driving situation itself. I mean, every time when you brake, you basically recuperate, and so you get energy back, and by that you save money. And to emphasize this money saving, we also added some sound to it.
Okay, let's see. So right, you get something back now.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, every time you get notified that you get money back.
Yeah, right. All right, that feels good. Every time, cash back is good.
Yeah. So maybe you can also say a bit something about the logic behind the sound. So we connected the sound to the speed, the acceleration pedal stance, and the torque.
Mm-hmm.
And by that we basically control the sound. So for everyone who's not that familiar with active sound design, so having a sound in the car is not just playing back a wave file, because we want to have an interactive sound. So you basically have a synthesizer in the car, and so you control the parameters, like for example pitch shift or level. You control that by the parameters of the car, like speed, torque, or RPM, for example. And so this is basically what we use here as well to create that sound. So we get all the information from the car, we connect it to the sounds we created up front, and we modify these sounds basically in live or in real time. So maybe I will switch now to the other sound.
Change to a sports car, was it right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's something coming in.
Yeah, so this is a more sporty sound. So the first sound we heard was a sound which was solely based on a sample-based synthesis. So we had sound samples we created and then just layered and put together in our live amp environment. And so this sound now also uses samples, but it also uses an additive synthesis as a baseline. And this additive synthesis mimic engine orders by using sine waves to create this modulation and roughness of typical combustion engines.
Okay.
I think you can really spend eternities for getting the right tuning, because the tuning is also very depending on the driving style and the driving behavior of people. And so some people have so different people have different preferences. So we'll now turn it down a bit, so to the intended level.
Mm-hmm.
So this by itself usually sounds a bit artificial. What we also did to give it a more realistic sound is we added resonances to the sound. And I think a lot of people who develop engines or try or work in the field of the acoustic development of engines, they don't like resonances.
No, really?
They're usually the enemy, but
not at all.
That's the beauty of the active sound design. So the resonances aren't your enemy anymore because you can fully control them. So you can decide of how broad you want to have the filter and how strong you want to have the resonance. Or even if you want to have resonances. So this is basically what makes active sound design so amazing or so nice, because you have all this degrees of freedom basically.
Yeah. I mean, in EVs you don't have this resonances so hard like in combustion engine powertrains, but you can use it maybe, for example, if you have a resonance at a special point and you underline your noise or your sound with that resonance and your vibrations, so at a specific point, could be interesting as well. Just comes from my mind right now. But the acceleration, I hope that the sound quality will be good for our audience here at this point, because it's very low and very bassful.
So
too much bass in it. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like you want to hear that from a sporty powertrain, right? Okay.
So I think here we could hear the resonance very strongly. So that might be, for example, also another thing where I might tune it down a bit. Another thing of the sound is it's on the one hand, so this additive synthesis, so this combustion engine sound is really the core of that sound.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it, especially at higher speeds and higher accelerations, we also added some distortion and some noise to it
now we're sorry when I interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
That was a
okay.
good moment to stay in the gear, like you have it in a sport environment. When you're especially at higher RPMs, then you get the feeling I'm really on the run right now, so I'm able to push the throttle again and the car will jump.
Yeah.
All right. So we're back here at the headquarters. So okay, you can see there the next people want to drive and go for a demonstration tour here with you.
Yeah.
Thank you a lot. And so I just put the parking step here on, And yeah, we'll see later, right?
Yeah.
Inside.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
welcome. Have a nice rest of the day and a nice rest of the meeting, and then we will talk later.
Thanks a lot. It was very impressive and interesting to listen to that sounds.
Yeah, thank
see ya.
you.
All right.
Bye-bye.